Hi, and welcome back to XPlane 11. I wasn't planning on doing anything particularly clever. I've just been looking about in here and practicing some stuff and trying out some stuff and everything. And so I thought I'd just try a little jaunt. So if I just grab this for a second. Can I put it there? Yeah. So I'm here at Edinburgh for the moment, and I was thinking I was going to just do a little run up and land at Dundee. I have kind of done this once already this morning. I was mostly doing it to muck about with trying to wrap my head around the autopilot, which I think I need to do a little bit more reading up on, just because I managed to, if I zoom in, managed to use the heading and the altitude hold and everything, but once I turned it on I can't figure out how to turn it off, and trying to turn it off ends up getting quite catastrophic. Things seem to go really wrong. It sort of sets up the trim and all this kind of thing, and yeah, the aircraft gets in a really weird situation. Now, just before I set off, I just need to take my headset off and just check something. Right, yeah, everything's looking good there. Headset back on. Okay, right, so I'm not going to be flying by any particular method. I'm just kind of going to head in what I think is the right direction. I'll just grab that and plug that there a second. Actually, let's just let's leave it there. I might grab that a wee bit later. It feels like there should be a better place to put that. A thing I did notice before I head off is, I hadn't realised before, you can open the door! How awesome is that? And of course you can get out and walk around and stuff, but I'm not going to do that now. Right, okay, so let's have a little bit of flaps to take off, I think is a good idea. Let's grab the yoke, give it some power, and take the power off because I forgot to put the brake off. Let's forget that ever happened. Whoa, whoa, give it some rudder, give it some rudder, give it some real rudder. Whoa, oh, not a great takeoff, not a great takeoff. Not a great takeoff. Okay, that was a terrible takeoff. That was a terrible takeoff. I didn't need the... Alright, let's just try and get a little bit of height. Just ease back a little bit. Not too much, I guess. Right, let's follow this road out. Also, my nose was at way too high. So I have the time set to the current time, and I set the weather to the current weather conditions. I've looked outside this morning, and quite frankly, it's not this sunny. Much more overcast than this would suggest. Right, so I think we're probably heading roughly north. Let's get a bit more altitude. Try not climb quite so much. So before I actually started recording, I was, as well as mucking about with the I actually just noticed as well, properly noticed, that there are bridges there. They're just not very much like the bridges that are actually there. I'm just looking over there at the tablet, trying to get a feel for what direction I should be going in. What was I saying? yeah, so while I was mucking around in here earlier, I was trying to figure out what some of this instrumentation does and everything, and yeah, I don't really have much of a clue. With this one, I figured out that you can pull up nearby airports and things like that. So if I can do that. No, it's that. There we go. So you can, like, list your nearest airports and select them and do stuff with that, but I'm not entirely sure what you'd want to do with that. And I can't get out of that list now. This is the problem, is once you start mucking around with stuff like that, you're not paying attention to what's outside. So we're coming up to about 2,000 feet. Kind of on a good route, I think. I did find a reasonable app on my iPad for loading up local charts and things, which is kind of interesting for, you know, seeing what areas you're supposed to avoid and all this kind of stuff and everything. And going into a cloud, probably shouldn't fly into a cloud when I'm doing VFR, right? Let's do it anyway, just to see what it looks like. It's not like there's any other traffic. Oh, this is so cool. This is so cool. Definitely, again, one of those things, it's never going to come across in a video just how good it looks. But in VR, it just feels so realistic and so present. It's amazing. Right, let's just ease off that a little bit. So yes, so this app lets you look at the local charts and plan routes and things like that. I think you can kind of hook it up with this. I'm not entirely sure how yet, but it feels like there's a whole area to be messing about with and having some fun with there. So it'd be quite nice to plan a reasonably long flight, maybe like a 90-minute flight. It's going to take some proper navigation and things like that, and I'd really quite like to be able to do that at some point. I feel like it'd be very good practice. I want to figure out how to get that back on the map that I was on. No, it's only letting me have those lists. Damn it. See if I can do this without... okay, there's a clear button there. No, that doesn't do any good. Turning... there we go. Had it. Right, I think... Just check again. EGPJ, I think that's where I'm heading. Right, I should try and avoid these clouds really, shouldn't I? I'm sort of flying VFR, I should not be flying into cloud. There we go. Just try and get myself a bit below this cloud base by the looks of things. Some definite blue sky about. I'm really damn sure it's not like that outside today. So yeah, I'd really like to try and figure out how you use the autopilot properly in this. I might have to do some reading up, find some instructions. Just because when I was, as I say, you know, kind of put on the altitude hold. So if I look there, there's Alt button, which I took to be kind of altitude hold. I couldn't figure out how to set an altitude, so I'm guessing it was just for holding it. But then it started heavily using the trim wheel to help maintain the altitude, and I was hands off the yoke and everything. But when it came to setting myself up for landing, I don't know, I think the trim was way off because I was really struggling to get the nose of the aircraft down. So I think there's a lot of things to figure out there still. I'm mostly holding about 2,000 feet here. This is looking okay. I must say, when I first loaded this up, last weekend, I kind of felt like the scenery wasn't great, and I was inclined to see if you could get hold of a better UK scenery pack, or at least a Scotland pack. But actually now I'm at a bit of an altitude. I mean, I'm not that high up, but I feel this is good enough actually, at least for my current needs. Kind of, I mean, I don't know this bit very well. I have actually been up to Dundee. I've lost one of my hands. There we go. I lost tracking on my left hand, which was holding the yoke. I have been up to Dundee to go to the V&A there, which I highly recommend, by the way. But I was obviously driving up. But I don't know this area terribly well. But as I'm setting off and everything, some of the roads around Edinburgh and that look roughly correct. So I actually feel there's enough to be navigating with here. So like any kind of enhanced scenery pack probably isn't necessary. This feels really nice though. I am still so very happy with this. And even this one default aircraft, and there's more aircraft in this, but even this one default aircraft, I feel like I could get hours of entertainment out of actually learning how to operate this properly. And it's something I'm actually inclined to do. As I said a few times, it's 20 years since I was last. I just realised just how zoomed out that must be. I don't know if you can change the zoom on it. So, looking at my iPad thing here, I'm only about not even quite halfway. I'm sort of veering off to the right a little bit. Let's just bring it round. But what was I saying? Oh, it's kind of a bit mistier. Am I getting into a cloud layer? Let's see how it goes. It's like 20 years since I was last really heavily playing flight sims, and that was Microsoft Flight Sim 2000 or whatever it was around then. And I got quite heavily into learning how to navigate correctly and all that kind of stuff. Was I looking at the wrong thing on there? Maybe I was looking at the wrong thing on there. I'm going to pay that much attention to that. Presumably there's a way of zooming that thing in and out, but goodness knows how. Just looking to see if trying to look at that while maintaining flight. I can't actually see I can't make out what sort of range I'm looking at on that. 20 nautical miles I think. So can I change that? No, that changes what it's showing. That changes that. I've lost it. There we go. Can I change the Oh, range. Aha! There we go. So where am I going for? Oh, don't want that. Wanted that. EGPN or EGQL? EGPN. I'll go for EGPN. I think that's what I'm going for. Actually, that one there, snare bass, isn't it? Oh, I forgot the name. Is it Lucas? Actually, can't remember. I'm gonna have to check. So, anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, flight simming and getting quite seriously into it and trying to learn things properly. And yeah, I feel this is a great opportunity to do that kind of thing again. And it's actually a much better opportunity because, you know, I'm actually sat in a, well, virtually, but you know what I mean. You know, I'm like actually sat in a cockpit, and it's the coolest thing. So I may as well make the most of it. Here's other things like, I've just noticed this instrument down here, like the revs, they're not in the green, and it's like, should they be? Am I flying really badly? So if I do that, that's more in the green. Trying to hold my altitude. I'm doing the naughty thing really of chasing the vertical speed with the yoke when really I should be chasing the vertical speed with the throttle. Just getting a bit more airspeed up. Definitely less sunny here. Definitely less sunny here. Right. Seen the estuary. Should probably actually start losing some altitude, not too much, just going to bring it down a wee bit, see how it goes. Really got to say, this was such a good buy in the sale. This was such a bargain, and now having bought it and messed around with it in VR for a wee bit, I kind of kicking myself for not having just bought it anyway. You know, even at full price, I don't feel I would have felt like I'd wasted my money at all. This is actually a very, very, very cool thing to be doing in VR. Well, okay, it's sinking a bit too much. I was trying to get myself down to about 5,000 or 6,000 vertical. Is that 1,000 or 100? I can never remember. 100 feet per minute. There we go. Not 1,000, 100. I'm so very rusty at this. I haven't tried properly flying a flight sim for so long. feel like I'm doing okay. So my plan is to kind of head to the North Shore and then sort of navigate along the North Shore, and that should bring me to the airport. The actual way of holding the yoke in this and everything as well is just so comfortable, because basically I press the trigger to latch on to most of the other controls. You hold the trigger down to interact with them and then let go and it lets go, whereas with the yoke that's a bit different, that it's trigger and you then have constant grip and trigger to let go again, so it's, you know, more of a toggle. And especially given the chair I'm sat in, which has comfortable arms and everything. Oh, I've actually lost tracking on my hand. Whoa. Yeah, that's the problem if you lose tracking on your hand. And that's the problem with the Quest, not a problem with the game. Just try and get things back on track. There we go. Let's just say that's some turbulence. What was I saying? Yeah, so the chair I'm sat in, I've got, you know, the arms down, and I've sort of set this cockpit at just, you know, I feel like I'm actually sat in the chair in the cockpit properly, and so my elbows are resting on the arm of the chair and, you know, kind of holding onto the yoke, as it were, at a really comfortable angle. So the whole thing works really well. I feel like I'm sat in the cockpit, you know, kind of correctly, at, you know, just the right height. Right, I'm coming up on 1,000 feet. Let's keep heading over to the North Shore as per the plan. Shallow this out now. So I can't see the airport yet. It's one of those times where it may be visible in the recording, but not in the headset, just because you get slightly more blurred textures in the headset. Yeah, slightly more blurred graphics, that kind of thing. So given its real world weather conditions, it's looking a bit more like I'd expect now. I'm guessing there's wind as well. Where is it? Where is it? Start turning. So just follow the shore. I think I'll just stay out over the river. Until I get sight of it. I wonder if there's a windsock. I want to figure out if yeah, I want to see if I can figure out what direction the wind's in, and try and land in the correct direction. The thing I haven't figured out with this yet is if there is any kind of AI ATC. So it's definitely one of the things that Microsoft Flight Sim did quite well out of the box, at least for having general fun with a flight sim purposes. Yeah, the thing of being able to ask for a landing and it giving you the correct runway and stuff like that, given the conditions. It's not sink, just sinking a bit. I feel like I should be able to see it very soon. I feel it's just down over that way. That looks about right, given that display as well. Not sure what direction the wind's coming from. Let's get this out of the way. Shouldn't really need that anymore. Oh, I think I can see the runway in front of me. Yeah, that's it there. So I'm not aiming to try and do any kind of correct approach. There's a lot of things there I need to relearn. First thing I want to try and figure out is what direction do we think the wind is? Is the windsock down there? I'm not seeing it, or it's a bit too far away for it to be drawn. I'm going to assume, probably incorrectly, but I'm going to assume the wind is going to be coming mostly from the west. So I think we'll come in that way, coming from the east. Well, it's so easy to let the nose drop while I'm looking round. I feel like this isn't an unreasonable approximation of the area around Dundee. I mean, the bridge is there and stuff. That's actually a train bridge down there as well. Actually driven across that bridge. Right, let's pay attention, let's not screw up right at the end. I'm going to bring it wide over this way and start losing some altitude, not too much. Bring it round. Hopefully this will get me lined up. And this is VR and I should be doing a lot more looking over my shoulder and things like that, but I find that often plays havoc with tracking. Also, my neck muscle was sinking quite a bit here. I'm getting close to a stall. Need to be careful. Yeah, also my neck muscles aren't great for looking around, so I'm always really quite hesitant. Right, let's give it a bit of flaps. A bit high on the glide slope. I was okay. Just need to start. I'm just looking at the visual indicator. Okay, right. Pretty much on the glide slope. Watching my speed. got a good rate of descent here, I think. Feel like I'm being nudged to the right a little bit. Let's go for flaps. Well, this isn't going well. Come too high. I'm just going to push the nose down a bit. Just try and get back. Yeah, screwed this up. Screwed this up massively. Might have to go around. See how this goes. Okay, getting closer to the glide slope. Just trying to manage the speed. Give it a bit of rudder. Heavy landing, but I'm down. I'll take it. I'll take it. Brakes on. Right. I saw some parking back there, so I'm actually going to go on the grass. Given I'm a small aircraft, I figure that's okay. Which is taxiway there. Oops. Let's go and park up. Let's pretend that bit didn't happen. Oh, that's interesting. So the aircraft definitely seems to handle better on the tarmac than it does on the grass. Oh, there is a windsock. And it looks like it did come in the best possible direction. Slow down, going a bit fast. Let's give it some brake. Now, I think I saw some light aircraft right at the end here, so I should probably go and park up there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, this looks tarmacked as well, so oh, they do seem to be parked up on the grass, so yeah, okay, I don't feel quite so bad about that. Not sure about being able to park up facing that direction, we'll see. Let's try and park up next to these two over here. Well, it takes a lot more power to move it on the grass. A lot more power. Using the rudder and the brake to turn around. Let's give it left toe brake. That'll do, right? I'm sure that'll do. Right, let me let go of that. Can I turn those off? Don't know if I need to. Let's turn that off. Off. Don't know what's buzzing. Something's buzzing. Turn all these off. Put the parking brake on. Whatever that noise is, it's getting quieter and quieter, so that's good. Let's head outside. Hey, I'm just going to stand up, just so I can better appreciate my plane. There we go. I think the microphone's coming with me. I really wish there was a way smooth walk and stuff. So I did it. I flew this thing all the way from Edinburgh to Dundee. I'm quite pleased with that. Can I, there we go. It's so cool how well done this is. I'm ever so impressed. I really like this. Can you go and have a look at that? Yeah, this just looks like a, yeah, it's not an actual flyable model or anything, that's just a prop. Okay, well, I think I will call it halt here. That was so much fun. I need to practice that more often. There's a lot more I need to figure out, a lot more I need to learn and relearn and things like that. Definitely want to figure out the autopilot stuff. Yeah, I want to figure out this particular aircraft and fly it more and more. But from this dip into XPlane 11, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.